let's get into it. Just pull up this. Okay. Okay. So welcome. Welcome to Toonamaste. This is a great virtual event on passion, gaming, monetization. I'm here with these wonderful people, right in the middle we have Queen Nick, queennick.art is where how you can find her. Model at 19, gamer, streamer, American media, producer and journalist, director as well. Yo, the list goes on, the list goes on. We have Lex, the wonderful, model as well, streamer, gamer, full-time streamer, beginning of 2020 to now. It's like a year and a half, unprecedented, some gas, if y'all wanna, meet yourselves, introduce yourselves to the audience.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
It's your girl Queen Nick here.
Oh, and hey, we got Prime as well, DJ Prime, artist, streamer, owner of Kawaii Kunai, toured around the world, toured around the country doing anime cons and gaming, legend.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here. Thanks for allowing me to be a part of this amazing stream.
Yeah, it was a pleasure having you.
And absolutely. Are you guys okay if I eat? I got home late. So I'm an officiant for weddings. It's one of the things that I also do, and I just married 2 people today.
Oh.
And I got home later than I anticipated, so I've got myself some really scrumptious spaghetti. If you guys are okay with it, I just want to eat.
Okay. Hey, if a man's starving, I ain't gonna tell him not to eat. You feel me?
No, I appreciate you.
Nick, I know you were Nico, excuse me. You were in the middle of saying something.
Yeah, I think I was muted. Sorry. No, I was just like, nah. If you no, you can still ask questions while you eat. Just don't do it with your mouth full.
Yo, facts. Yo, so
enjoy your meal.
Facts. Enjoy the meal. We're enjoying the stream. Yo, before we get into it, I just want to tell everyone what Toonamaste is. So Toonamaste is a safe place for people interested in gaming, gamefi, anime, cartoons, comics, music. It's located in Philly. It's all a bunch of love, all a bunch of good energy. If you came to our in-person event, then you know the vibes. You know what it was. So our first segment.
What part of Philly you from?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't be giving out the locations like that. They gonna be looking.
What part did you grow up in?
Oh, okay. I didn't grow up in Philly. I grew up in. You ever heard of Drescher?
Yeah. Okay. I see. I can see why you don't claim Philly. Understand?
No. It's not that I don't claim. Hey, hold on.
No. Like you claim. Like that's not your Philly is not your stomping ground. You didn't grow up there. That's all.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, I see. No, because some people from Drescher or whatever, or in the surrounding areas, be like, oh yeah, I'm from Philly. No, you're not. So I respect that.
Yo, see, you feel the vibes, I try to step on nobody's toes.
Right. Like, what is it? Almaretta, I think she came up with a whole song about it, like about people saying they from Atlanta, but they not from Atlanta. They from like College Park. Yeah.
Oh. Sometimes you gotta let them
know. They started a whole Twitter thread.
Yo, I mean, they gotta be called out. Sometimes they gotta be called out, yo. You gotta protect the culture.
Respect.
I feel like there's a lot of cities that do that because Denver has the same thing. People that live in Aurora, which is like the town right outside Denver, they're like, "Oh, we're from Denver." No, you're not.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. I don't know you. Who are you?
See, you lying. You ain't from that.
I respect that. Appreciate to have you now in the city, holding it down.
I'm somewhere in the city. I'm in the bat cave. You can see the window.
Right, can't see outside. He's like, nope.
So I want to hop into our first segment, which is we're gonna talk about like early inspirations. Like what got you into gaming, streaming. What's the vibes like? One of you want to go?
I was always a kid that loved video games, loved gaming. That was always like fun for me. I grew up on PlayStation.
Mm.
Um, that doesn't mean that I don't rock with Xbox. I,
Mm-hmm.
I am not console married. Okay, give me console PC or phone sometimes when I'm gaming. But I grew up in a time where we didn't have those. We had the actual disc that you had to buy from the store.
Hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
these kids don't know nothing about how you had to have imagination. Like truly, like a lot of the games back then were well thought out, and these were adults where the child survived, and they made really good games for us. Um, as far as like everything else in my career, well, I'm always been an ADHD person. Just I will hyper focus on something and just learn things, pick up things really quick, and I've dipped my hands in every jar, just about to try it. But yeah, those are my early inspirations was just the video games I played and learning how some of those video games were made.
Yeah, so for me, pretty much the same thing. Actually, my uncle played a huge influence on me even getting in games, and I don't think he actually even knows it, but I remember like I was like 6 or 7 and I got a lot of his hand-me-downs and he gave me one of the Sega, I think Game Gear like handheld ones and like it literally changed my life. Like I used to go on road trips and have that thing literally with me and from there I loved gaming. I had the Nintendo 64, the PlayStation 1, 2, but I was like a huge Xbox head, but now I've actually transitioned to PC, which I never thought I would actually say, but I am completely in love with PC world and everything. But I will always have like a love for consoles. But man, I feel like I've had so many different consoles play like such a inspiration and influence on just like my love for gaming. Like I love everything, honestly. So
That's a good answer. Both of y'all actually. I feel like I'm the old head in the here. Um, I started with technically the Atari. It wasn't my system; it was my parents' system. But that's what got me into gaming, playing like old school tanks, the original Pitfall, which was like one of the hardest games ever for like a 5 year old. Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, all that stuff. My first system was the original Nintendo. I had the NES, rocking, the Super Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt. I had like the Olympic sports ones, like one of the first games with like a floor pad where you had to like stomp on the like colored dots and stuff. My dad used to whoop my butt every time playing that damn thing. So that's kind of like where I guess it all began. I didn't really solidify myself as I guess like a gamer, so to speak, until I got to Sega Genesis because I was a die-hard Sonic the Hedgehog fan. I love the Sega Genesis. Sad that they kind of went under, but I'm happy that Nintendo kind of picked them up and kind of kept that going forward. As far as streaming, just being an entertainer was kind of the little spark of wanting to get out there, put myself out on Twitch and start streaming for people to watch. But the funny thing is, I never understood the concept of wanting to watch somebody play video games online. Like I didn't get that. But then like now that I'm doing it, I absolutely see the appeal. It's more than just watching somebody play the video game because there is enjoyment in that, but there's also the enjoyment of the community, getting to meet everybody in the chat, and then also just being able to interact with the person on the other side of the stream. So really, my inspiration really evolved from just wanting to entertain people into that community, especially with my streams. I have a really strong knit group of people, and it's more of a family, um, which is why when everybody joins my stream, everybody's fam. You join the Awesomeness fam, so that's kind of where that whole inspiration now is solely focused on my community and not so much hey, look at me, I'm doing dumb stuff on stream.
yeah, for me, streaming, honestly, I never thought I would actually get into. It was something that, like, honestly, if the pandemic never happened, I probably would have never did it because I had all this time. I was just like, you know what? Like, why not? What's the worst? I'm literally not doing nothing. I was home from work for like 4 months and I was just like playing games anyway. So I was like, you know what? Let me just try it. And I had no idea what I was doing. I literally would just go on and just play Final Fantasy with my friends. And then slowly I would started like building a community, and I was like, people really want to watch me stream, and like, why would anybody want to watch me? And then just like doing research and learning that, like, okay, what you can create for people that experience and wanting to like evolve that is really what drove me to like dig deeper into streaming. So, and I'm so happy. Like, it was like the best thing ever. So,
Yeah, I never thought I would be streaming online and everything. Like that was something that was super new. Started playing Sims when I first started streaming. I had just learned about mods on like play on PC, and my goodness, I went crazy. I have a lot of mods on my computer now. Certain mods I can't play on stream, something
back.
like that. Probably put towards my Patreon and whatnot. If you want to know more about that, you can DM me and we'll talk about it. I'll tell you those mods that you cannot stream um online with the Sims. If you want to keep your Twitch channel. But that's where I started. I started this journey probably what 2019, I think, like spring summer 2019, and I really just enjoyed creating stuff. And people were like, "Hey, you should try this, or you should do this." I was making like characters from like some of my favorite TV shows, all kinds of stuff, and I didn't think anybody was gonna watch that. Like, stuff I like to do, you know. And was working as a journalist and everything for American Media. And so doing two things that I love. So we go to the cons, we interview a lot of the voice actors who are guests at the con, we do all kinds of stuff. And so streaming and getting more people interested in the things that I'm interested in and everything has come such a long way. And I'm very, very proud. I'm proud of y'all too. Because I mean, if you didn't do what you did, you wouldn't be here.
Back, back.
He was like, you know what, I like doing this. Maybe other people may like doing this too.
That part.
I found myself watching more gameplay videos than anything. Like people streaming and whatnot, and just kind of like something I might want to play. I don't play first person shooters, so
That's all.
I'd rather watch that. Like I'd much rather watch that because like I don't. It's something about the equilibrium for me. Like the immersiveness. So it's a little too immersive for me. I want to see my character.
I feel that part.
So, do you mean like you prefer third versus first person?
Yes,
Okay.
I prefer third. Yeah, like um I won't play Cyberpunk only because of that. Somebody had a PC mod for third person for Cyberpunk. Oh god.
Yep.
Oh god. The animation on that ragdoll. Ooh, it's rough. But I had to see it for myself.
Well, I appreciate all of your answers. They were very enlightening, and let us look deeper into all three of your stories and who you are. And continuing with your journeys, I want to know, what obstacles did you encounter when first getting started streaming? Like, what was something that, at least maybe to you, stuck out? Like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna overcome this? How am I gonna get past this? What's the next move?
Well, for me, like I said, I started streaming in the middle of a pandemic when crypto and mining and all that went crazy. So I got like a hand-me-down PC, and I really didn't know too much about like computers and everything, but I knew for me and able to stream and game at the same time, the PC that I had was not going to cut it. So the biggest struggle with my journey starting off was just like getting what I needed to upgrade that, and the resale, and like I can't tell you, I was camping out in lines like trying to get my hands on like parts that I needed, specifically like my GPU, and just like literally failing. Like people were already, it was like 12 people in line a whole day before trying to get like GPUs, and it was like so discouraging because I was just like my PC would crash in the middle of streams, and I'm just like it was just like making things so hard. But you know, I continue just like trying to like get my hands on it, and luckily I had like a really good friend that looked out for me and sold it. They got a GPU and sold it to me for retail price, which was like amazing. It was like the most amazing thing someone could do for me. And then from there, I've just been slowly like trying to just wait and not fall into these like resale prices. But that and just like the troubleshooting of like having a PC and like basically starting in like new territory of as far as like software and what I needed and what works best for me, you know, like between OBS or Streamlabs or any other software. So like it can be challenging and it's a lot sometimes, truly, but that in the beginning was really the hardest struggle for
I'm gonna say for me, my obstacle probably came in before I made affiliate on Twitch because like I was struggle to keep 3 people in my streams, and it was so hard initially because like I would forget to like tell people that I was streaming. And like me, like I'm kind of an analog kid, always has been. Like I'm one of those people that still write in journals and things. Like so social media, now that it has gone as mainstream as it has, kind of like lost its luster for me.
Mm-hmm.
So like I struggled a lot with like social media promotion and letting people know, giving people enough time to let them know, hey, I'm streaming, I'm live streaming now. I started getting more comfortable when I would do just like Facebook lives and stuff like that. And as I progressed, I kind of got a little more comfortable with all right, saying, hey, I'm online, you know, check this out or whatever. Sometimes I would have like little polls in there like, hey, what do you guys think I should do? But I think that was the hardest part in the beginning was promoting and remembering to, because my brain moves 1,000 miles a minute.
art.
So it'll be like, I forgot to do that. I'm sitting there like, how come I'm waiting? Did you tell anybody?
Back.
Good point. Good point.
I think for me was figuring out how was I going to stream with what I currently had. Kind of the same thing. I was running everything off a laptop, using OBS, and the laptop did all right, but I knew that I needed to upgrade to something a little bit more powerful, which I now have. The other thing was the only way that I could game at the current moment when I started was with the Nintendo Switch. And PlayStation and Xbox have this wonderful thing where you can stream directly from the console. Guess who doesn't? The Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
So I had to get a capture card. I had to look into that, try to find something. I actually managed to find a really solid capture card for the Nintendo Switch that is like half the price of the Elgato. And I know everybody swears by the Elgato. I've seen the Elgato in action. But, I feel like if you are on a budget, sometimes you kind of have to, make do with what you're able to get your hands on. So I think that was my biggest hurdle when I started. Once I kind of got to affiliate, the biggest struggle that I had was kind of maintaining an audience and building a Discord server. Discord, if you have never really used Discord before, or if you just kind of use it as a means to just chat with your friends, is kind of a beast. Setting up your own server is a lot. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of mod stuff that you have to do, a lot of bots, and mine is set up fairly well. But I know that there's a lot more that I could do to my server to offer kind of more of an interactive experience for everybody that's in there, because I've got a good amount of people in there now, and we talk, we post memes in the meme channel. I have a section for kitty cat pictures and puppy pictures because I love animals, and there's also a section in there for people to post like their food and ramen. Specifically, it was originally just ramen, but I was like, you know what? I posted a picture of burritos myself, so you know we're just gonna open it up to all food. But you know, because I love to cook, that's one of my passions. I love to make food for people. Um, so that was probably the biggest hurdle, was maintaining the audience once you hit affiliate, because I kind of feel like a lot of people, when they hit that mark, they're like, okay, yeah, I did it. Now you know it's all smooth sailing from here. I'm gonna hit partner in like 2 months. Let's go. And it just, it ain't like that. The reality of it is, it's just, if your goal is to hit partner, which is my goal, I'm trying my best. uh it's definitely a grind, and you definitely have to have the passion for it, have the drive, and I guess have the patience.
Yeah, patience for sure. It's not easy and it can be discouraging sometimes when you're like, all right, well, last stream I had this many views and then this stream I only have this many. So I'm like,
Mhm.
what happened? Like, what's going on? But like you just gotta remember, like, it's such a journey and learning and trying different things to see what works and what days to stream and what games to play. But like honestly, if you just be yourself, I think, and create that community, that tight knit. And honestly, that's been the best part about this whole journey. It's just like literally finding people that support you and want to see you win. And they're all for like just making that happen. It's just like the best feeling. Like some days I'll have such a crappy day and I'll just be like, I don't really want to stream, and then I'll get on and I'll get off feeling so awesome because my community made me feel great. So it goes a long way.
Yeah. You have to build your tribe, but also play the games that you like.
Yes.
Don't play it just because it's popular. Because, like, like I said, I'm not playing first person shooters. I would love to play Cyberpunk, absolutely, but eh, you gotta pay me to do it. Then I'll do it. But you know, until you pay me to do it, I'm not doing that. Because it's not fun anymore. It no longer becomes something you enjoy. It becomes a chore. It becomes another job that you need a vacation from. And as you're building your following in your community, you want to make sure, you know, whatever your code is, that everybody's following the same and everybody, you know, is on the same page. Because you know, fandoms can get toxic real quick. Like fandoms, communities, and whatnot can get toxic real fast. So you definitely want to build your own tribe, and you know, those people, if you build it, they will come. That's what it is. You just gotta keep at it every time. You know, I now every year I give like around this time actually every year. I give myself kind of like my own little talk show to be able to talk about things and whatnot. And I stream directly through Twitch on OBS on my computer. And so like I've been using OBS. Streamlabs has kind of a better deal in a way, but it's not free. So it's like, you know, you gotta pay for it. I think it's like $150 for the year or something like that. But they you can stream simultaneously on all the platforms. So you can go live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, all at the same time, versus OBS where you can only stream one at a time. But you know, that's stuff you got to figure out. It's things you got to work. You gotta work out and figure out. You know what days, if you're gonna create a schedule so everybody can kind of work their schedules around that. You know, and what works for you. But definitely make sure you playing the games that you want to play. Because if you playing something just to play it, just because it's popular, and you don't actually like it, what are you doing?
Serious.
Thanks. What
Your
are you
fans can tell.
doing?
Your fans can tell.
Yeah. Again, wow, everything all of you said I thought was on. Spot on. Like I was a lot of. I hope everyone in the audience low key taking them notes. I'm not gonna hold you. There's a lot of gems dropped. A lot of gems dropped. So speaking about gems, finding your success, you know, finding your gem in the rough, like for your career as a streamer, gamer, and I know all of you all do other things that you do as well. So what does that look like for you? You know, what's that vision, that picture in your mind, that goal that you're working from, not towards. You know.
Uh, say that mine is working. a place of love and loving what I do, no matter what, you know. So I stream because I love it. It's fun, you know. It's fun to be able to because like in my younger years, as I would play games, my friends would be like, "Yo, this would be funny as hell. You should go on like Facebook Live, blah 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 blah." Because like your reactions to stuff and the faces you make, like people would literally watch this just for fun. I'm like, no. But like as I was going, you know, playing the games that I was playing and everything, people would be in the chat. We'd have like different conversations about all kinds of things, whether it was about the game or about this cutscene or whatever, something I said. Um, something I wish my character could say, but it's not an option. It's not a dialogue option for that. You know, my I guess my gem would be being able to do what I love and I don't know, enjoy myself because, you know, growing up, we were told, you know, video games and all of that's for kids and, you know, all this other stuff, you know, like tell us to be realistic and get a real job. And it's like, you see these little kid streamers is making millions just
Bam.
streaming on YouTube, like bank, not even playing in tournaments.
Right.
They just playing. Like, you were saying? Like, you know, so this can definitely be a real career path. You just have to commit to it. But when you make that decision, you hold yourself accountable and you keep going. Like if you mess up, you don't come down on yourself to the point where, you know, you're not really wanting to try again or you're not wanting to try again. You're not gonna learn anything from success. Success only shows you what works. That's the only thing it does. Failing, on the other hand, dear, failing will help you every time because it tells you what doesn't work, what you may want to try. It tells you all kinds of different things because you're more concerned with how to fix the problem. And once you fix it, it's like, okay, well, keep doing what you're doing. Nothing's broke, so we're good. You know. Me finding my own gem would be just helping others and you know, do the same thing, whatever that path is, you know, being able to build the platform I've built and share as much as possible.
Yeah. So for me, one of my biggest goals, I don't know, I switched my mindset with streaming as far as like people just coming to watch me play games and kind of just gearing it more to like having my own show because at the end of the day, people are coming to watch me and I have all control at what I do. And that part is what really is like the best because no one else is like telling me when I need to do it, what I need to do. I am in control of all of that. And I find so much like freedom in that. And that ultimately is like my overall goal in life is just to have like freedom over everything that I do. And if I can help people along the way, just sharing my story or like them watching my journey and inspiring others to do whatever, it might not even be streaming or gaming but to just show others that like if you really want something and you're passionate about it and you love it you can have that like you literally can so like a super goal for me is I want to get into hosting and like getting into like the esports world and like really making a staple for like women especially women of color where like growing up, I didn't have that. Like I didn't have someone who looked like me and I really really want that for like the younger generations to have like that representation into the gaming world. And it's a struggle, but like it's so possible because I've seen not many, but like I've seen it and it's just like inspiring because we're able to do that now with all the like I wish I had like all these things that kids had when I was younger. I'm like, yo, if I had this, like I would have been like this far, but like I have it now, so I'm gonna use that and just like really take a dream that I thought was like not realistic and really making it a reality. So yeah.
I feel like, and I'm gonna use this phrase, I did not understand the assignment. I guess for me, it's more kind of like how I mentioned before, the community. What I have built with my channel is maybe like, I don't know, 20% like the Awesomest Prime show, and then the other 80% is just the community, the interactions that I get to have with people. If you ever come to one of my streams, it looks like it's just a crazy madhouse. I have so many like different sound alerts and things that people are allowed to do. So it's almost like I gave people kind of a way to troll me while I'm playing is almost essentially kind of what it is, but it's more of just a way for people to interact with me. Because some of the sound effects I have make me dance. I have one that's like a chicken dance that if you activate, I do a stupid little chicken dance on stream. And I even have like a redemption for like Prime's advice. And I've had people redeem it for some silly things. Like I had one of my younger viewers redeemed it asking, how do I go to the bathroom properly? So we did a whole 5-minute thing. I put some lo-fi in the background. These nice beats was going, and I just did this whole like ridiculous thing, like how to effectively do this. But then just recently, I actually had another viewer that redeemed it because they were going for their very first job interview. So 16-year-old viewer that I have, which I don't know what the heck you're doing on my stream because it is an 18 plus stream. But I have a couple young people that come through and they were just very nervous. Like, hey, I've never had to go to a job interview. Like, what do I need to worry about? What do I need to say? What kind of questions they could ask me? How should I dress? Should I dress like, with a 3-piece suit, or should I really just go with like, a nice pair of, slacks and like, a polo or something? So, um, that one was really cool because one of my best friends that I've had for years happened to be in the chat, and she happens to be an assistant general manager for a major chain. And that's one of the things she does is that she does interviews and stuff. So it was cool to have her kind of putting her advice and everything in the chat while we were also talking and kind of relaying that stuff to this viewer. And I thought that was really, really awesome. So I kind of feel like what I've done is I've just built this fun, safe space for everybody, because that's the one thing that I wanted to do with my brand is I want people to know that I am a safe, person, safe space. The stream's a safe space. The Discord's a safe space. Definitely want to uplift, blurs and other nerds. My female nerds, my LGBTQIA nerds, Asian nerds, because I feel like for some reason our Asian community never really gets any light shed on them sometimes, and it just kind of irks me. And I'm doing the same thing with the record label too, which those are the kind of artists that we want to showcase. Like right now, you have myself, Awesomest Prime, happen to be LGBTQIA. I'm non-binary. So like that's a big part of it. And then like one of my buddies who he and I formed a super group called Sake Bomb Party. We're also both an LGBTQIA like super duo making EDM music. But then I also have the Gata Negra, who is a nerdcore hip hop artist, or kawaii hop is what she considers her music. So she's doing something, a little bit differently than what people are used to, and with the fashion that she has and her music and the message that she's trying to relay. And then I also work with Rennie out of New York City, happens to be a Japanese pop singer. She actually moved to the States in 2008, and her and we met at a convention last year. Actually, I just realized that it was like the beginning of last year, one of the first conventions we were able to go to. Her and I have been working on a lot of stuff together recently. The most recent single that I released, Bad Geisha Girl, she's the vocalist on that. So kind of utilizing not only just Twitch, but me at conventions and me DJing and performing and the music and everything. I think that's really my gem. My gem is I have this ability to bring a lot of people together under like a common goal. And I think that common goal is to just love one another, which is something I feel like is very difficult nowadays. I really feel that with the pandemic, people have kind of forgotten how to just be like nice to one another. I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but like I feel like driving on the road, people are rude. Going to the store, people are rude. Even like when people hold the door open for me, still it's like they kind of have this face like, you better hurry up. Like, I'm not going to wait here all day for you to just slowly walk to this door. So I don't know. That's I feel like that was missing from the world. and I want to put it back.
I love that. It's
No.
all love. You gotta spread the love, man. Spread your light. Like that's what it's all about. Seriously, because there's a lot of darkness in this world. So being able to do that is like key.
Hey, well, the three of y'all are definitely doing that. You know, I ain't gonna hold you. Y'all are definitely doing that. Y'all shining bright. I'm over here blinded. You know what I'm saying? And you know, speaking about blinding light, the culture, the climate. That's let's take a step into really just like the climate of gamers, the climate of the gaming community, and your opinions on where it is, where it came from, where it's headed, and Lex, you spoke on this a little bit when you were talking about the hosting aspect, but like I would love to know all of your opinions on what you think about the current climate, and then maybe the toxic aspects of gaming in the community.
Yeah, I think that's a that's a loaded question for sure. But like I guess like growing up, like maybe my high school days, the community was very toxic, I would say that. And I've tried to steer away from that as I like gotten older. And really finding like the community that isn't so toxic. But like I was a huge Call of Duty head. I was like I love first person shooters. I love being in the action. Like the only type of games I don't play is like sports games. You literally couldn't pay me to play a sports game at all. But I love games that, like I said, you don't really find too many like well you do, but like the mass majority is like a toxic younger boy. Like and when they find out that you're a female that is playing a game, you can get a lot of harsh like toxicness from that. And when I was younger, I used to combat that and like try to like, show up and be like, well, just because I'm a female, like, don't mean nothing. I'll trash you in a game right now. Like, that's me right there. So, like, I love showing up in that way. But, like, I think now I don't know. I know it still is very toxic. I think what I found is like the games that, like, really work for me and like the PC community. Honestly, once I transitioned to PC, I don't got no toxicness in anything that I play. Honestly, it's really the console world, which sadly is the majority of what people play. But um, yeah, I think I just want to, like I said, make a way for people that look like me and just creating that pathway that's already like there is one, but like it's not big enough, and I just want to keep expanding that so that more people that females especially can not feel afraid. Like I've gotten comments and messages from girls that be like, "I used to stream because I used to stream and I don't anymore because I used to get bogged down by like the community that was coming into my channel and like how toxic that was, and like you inspire me, and that alone like just drives me like no other. I can't tell y'all like." Just being able to like show up in that way for someone to inspire them in that way, that's enough for me. That's enough. Like the money and all of that and funding, yeah, that's important if I want to like make this legit, but like that's not what I went in that. I didn't go into streaming for that. I went in it to literally spread light and make a way for like something that I wanted to see when I was younger. So
Yeah, I have an answer for this. I do feel there still is a huge level of toxicity that does exist kind of in gaming. Um, I feel like most of it kind of exists in the first person shooter world, especially if you're playing a lot of ranked stuff. There is this level of these over bravadoed masculine people that just they have to like. How do I want to word this in BPG?
like show their dominance, like
Yeah, like
in a
it's
way.
it's so ridiculous, you know, because like my sister also streams. My sister's always wanted to be a content creator, you know, anyway, and then she kind of saw what I was doing, and she was like, "Yeah, I want to do the same thing." And she's like an avid first-person shooter player. She plays Call of Duty, she plays Warzone, she plays Fortnite. You know, she plays all these games. And still, you get these people in the headset like, "Wait, you're a girl? Like, yeah, why does that matter? Why?
Exactly.
Why? I never, even when I was younger, I never understood why does this matter."
It doesn't.
Like video games are for everybody. Everybody's meant to enjoy it. So I do feel that, you know, there is still a little bit of that toxicity that does kind of exist within I guess maybe more so the first person shooter world and like competitive side as well. Because if you look at you know, first person shooter esports, I'm a huge fan of Rogue Company. I play it once a week on stream every Wednesday. But I play it all the time. I love Rogue Company. That is my game. Not the greatest at it, but I be clapping cheeks. We be going to town. Listen, this community so far has been pretty good. I haven't really come across too many people, but I got to watch the very first ever in-person tournament for Rogue Company in January. I was so excited. We were finally getting this game as an esport, an actual competitive sport. From what I can remember, what I recall from that, there were no female or feminine presenting people playing on any of the teams. And I kind of just question, is there not a market for that? Or are these teams excluding those people on purpose? And I say that because my friend Lady Havoc, who is the one person that I stream with all the time playing Rogue Company, her and her husband actually were contacted to join this esports league. This team really wanted them to join I think for Call of Duty specifically. When they found out that my friend Lady Havoc, which I don't know what her screen name was at the time, but when they found out that she was female, a woman, they were like, "Oh no, we can't take you. We don't take ladies." Like just straight out told her, we don't do that. We don't allow that on this team."
That's crazy.
What? Why? Huh? Like I don't understand.
Like, the skills is there, so what's the problem?
You kidding me? I know women that can
This
whoop
is a
my ass
skill.
left and right. Yo, yeah, oh yeah. But like it's one of those things that just it irks the crap out of me because it's still happening. I'd like to see that change. Um, but as far as maybe kind of discussing the one part of the question that you posed, kind of the current climate and maybe like the future climate of gaming just in general without worrying about the toxicity, I feel that we are starting to see the early stages of professional video gamers. You know, we already kind of have them,
Mhm.
but there's people out there making some money at these tournaments. You know, we're starting to see more tournament conventions start up, especially in the fighting game community, which that can get toxic really quick. And I think it's just the nature of the type of competitiveness um, that exists there. Which those are my favorite videos to watch on YouTube, or like these really like terrible toxic like rage quits at fighting game tournaments because I find them funny. It's terrible that people do this, but you know, when you're competitive, when you are a competitive person and you were doing this, especially if there's a, you know, substantial prize on the line, I kind of feel like that might be what causes some of that. But I think going in the future, we are going to see that almost becoming um, just as big as like American football. You know,
So,
So,
we're already getting
uh,
a stadium in Philly.
yeah, exactly. Which is insane. Like, what?
yeah, that stadium was cool. That stadium was cool. It's actually interesting you bring this up because that stadium, my first time ever being in that stadium, like the opening day of the stadium in Philly, like I'm bringing my friends in there to look at everything involving gaming culture, and like they're not used to esports. They're like, oh, whoa, this is really like a whole complex for this, and like there's a team on like the main stage of TV cameras and everything, and like I'm letting them see this, and like also in the corner is just some random kid just yelling at the top of their lungs, rage quitting, and it's like everyone is like, I'm talking about this room is like probably like 100 people in there. We're all like ignoring the fact that this kid in the corner is rage quitting, and it's just like my first thought was just like, bro, like it's not that deep. But to your point, Prime, like to the professionalism and the the emotions around gaming is a great segue into our next topic. All right. So our next topic is about gamefi. So for the audience, gamefi is video games built on the blockchain network that utilize DeFi, decentralized finance, and crypto to give in-game items real-world value that can be exchanged or traded for money. So, I just want to first start off with like, a quick little, how y'all feel about that concept?
Crazy. That's such a crazy concept. Like, what?
They have single-handedly figured out how to kind of circumvent the credit card system. You know how like Discover, Visa, and all of that. You gotta pay money to process transactions and things. And when you're in more of a decentralized crypto state, that money they're connecting directly with the user, with games, whatnot. Now, of course, yes, you're gonna have to turn a legal tender into that currency, but it's like they keep their fee, like all the fees that they would have to pay would really be covered pretty much with them being able to control their own currency. And I could just see it's gonna change it's gonna change the game. It's gonna change the game, and then being able to like rent out your own equipment and things to other users. And man, yeah, it gives more power back to the streamer or the user, and you instead of having to play to win, you're playing to earn, which is even like which is a better model. You know, you're not dedicating all of your life to this one thing with no reward. You actually get rewarded through.
Mm-hmm. So with this particular topic, it's very interesting. I love talking about it. In particular, in the terms of like gaming and this concept of play to earn, my understanding of it from when, for an example, the biggest example is Ubisoft introducing NFTs into their game Ghost Recon. Gaming community is very upset. They thought it was stupid. They think that it is a scam. Um, Granted, Ubisoft did shoot themselves in the foot, saying you had to play like 600 hours to get this NFT. It's kind of wild, which is like it wasn't even like completing of levels. It was kind of like you just had to be in the game. So it's like, bro, you want me to like turn on my Xbox and just like idle for like a couple days? Is that what you're trying to tell me? But yeah, that's a whole nother topic. But the main thing, what I personally feel is a disconnect in the community is it's a lack of understanding, and it's that like people think of NFTs as like a scam and so forth. And I'm not saying there aren't scams in crypto, but there's scams in every other aspect of life too. Like crypto's not excluded from that. Like, come on now, that's human nature. Like, there's people are
I'm
gonna
pretty
do
sure
that.
somebody got a email right now from an African prince. Like his enemies are after him,
Yo,
and he was
oh my gosh, yeah, that's perfect.
like those are like you do with like actual scams or somebody to tell you they're gonna flip $500 in the like you get those, but you
Gotcha.
know every change is always like this. There's
Yep.
always a knee-jerk reaction to things, and then all of a sudden somebody that I guess our society kind of like trusts, and the more of those types of people are like, hey, this works, the more people are just be like, oh, oh, it does work. Oh, that's pretty much how that goes. Every time, every time. Like, there's a knee jerk reaction to some people. Others are like, bring it on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's like it's interesting too because the populace of well, at least the mindset around crypto and so forth is that it's like a get rich quick type of community, even though like there's a lot of people really building a lot of interesting like utilities and networks with not only the NFTs but also for the community and for people coming into the community. And in particular, why I'm so excited about this concept for gaming is, in the context of gaming, you might own the game, or like you might buy the game on Steam, which is like it is on Steam, but you still don't. I don't know if it's fully yours in terms of like even it's in your Steam library, but it's like a lot of the items you have in, let's say, like a free to play game like League of Legends, like all those items you spend actual money on, like those aren't yours. Like they are yours, but they're not. They still belong to Riot. Like, and those things are located in their servers, in those locations. Versus if you were to spend the money for an NFT for it, you would be able to own it. And if that game ever disappeared, you would still have that. Like, you would still have that, which is there's a documentary on a man who spent like, it's quite ridiculous. You know, I'm just gonna drop it. He dropped like 70K in a game, and he did that in a game that was just a regular video game. It was I think it was one of the Fate Night games, and like the thing is though, like people in the comments are making fun of this man, but I'm like, in my mind, I was thinking, I was like, wow, like this is the exact reason people, as you guys we all mentioned before, about how people look down on gaming, or the general populace looks down on gaming because they see that you're spending money and you're not learning a skill, you're not getting anything in return. But it's like in this case now, from the way it seems, it's like if that man had dropped 70K in like a play to earn game, like he would maybe be like pretty up right now. Like he, like if he's playing it that much to want to drop that much, like that's a valid argument. And it goes even deeper than that too, because there are games, and if you care for these things I mentioned, if you care to have these links and so forth, please, audience, DM me. I can give you these videos. It's the same thing with the panelists. DM me, I can give you these videos. But like I don't know if you guys heard about this one particular game that was bringing people around the world at a period in time out of poverty because they had access to it. Which to me, which is why I am like, my heart's so much into GameFi. That's what I really care about. Wow. Wait, we're taking people in different countries out of economic hardship through video games? Really? This thing that was a waste of my time? Like I just
made me up. Right.
So what do y'all think of that?
Well, I actually have a couple questions. To the point you just made, does that also work here in the States?
So yes, that does work in the States. You can play those games in the States as well. It's just I'm sorry.
The helping to get people out of poverty, because I'm concerned, because the United States has this wonderful, wonderful thing they like to do. When the getting's good on something, they have to put their fingers in it, and I'm concerned because this happens. Literally, you can't in states. You cannot collect rainwater for your own use. It is illegal to collect rainwater, a natural occurring thing. This is why I'm concerned. So that's just my concern with it. I hope it doesn't come to that. I hope they just go, video games, whatever, phooey, and then we're good with it. So please, video game gods, make this work.
See,
if it goes mainstream, you can kiss it goodbye. Like if it really goes like mainstream, you can kiss it goodbye. Like they like, I don't condone the use of drugs, but look at what they did to the weed industry. Like my parents always tell us, like when we were younger, like how much they used to get, $5.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get what you get for $5. So like it's always Uncle Sam gonna want to get in on it. I could definitely see that, and somebody's like gonna want some type of oversight. They really don't know what to do with crypto as it is now.
They're so confused by it.
Right. So they're like, wait, so how does this, like, give them about 10, 15, 20 years, maybe then. But like if you start Now, I don't know.
Still early. I feel like it's
Yeah.
just still so early for this, and like I've been trying to like dive more into NFTs. Like I actually went to an NFT panel last night where I was trying to learn more about it, and like in the entire room, the people that were raising their hands that knew about it was still very so slim. I don't really even know too much. I'm trying to do as much research about it, but like I think it's just so early that like there's a risk with everything, but like if you get in now, I don't know. Like you take that gamble, but it could be rewarding before it gets too like mainstream, like you're saying, with
Yeah,
like
like Bitcoin.
exactly, like all of it. So
And
So yeah.
to what all of you were saying, I would also say too, like the thing is there are NFTs, but for an example, not all of these games you need to buy an NFT to play. You can play some of these games completely for free, and some of them are free to earn, and some of them are you have to get an NFT to be able to earn. But there's a lot of different models, and the promise point about the government and so forth. That's why, since it is still so early, I believe the gaming community, instead of immediately calling it a scam, should look into it, not listen to people around you. You do your own research.
yes,
Look into this, because if like we do not fully understand this, it could be squashed by, as you said, like the government before we even understand what we had an opportunity to actually participate in. And
Right.
I think that's why conversations like these are super valuable. We can have these conversations about where we think the industry is going with people who are in the industry. In the
And the
industry.
thing is, for like even with any currency, everybody just has to agree. That's it.
Mhm.
Everybody just has to agree. That's what gives currency its value. If the dollar didn't have value, if people didn't care about it, you couldn't use it to pay for anything. Like we give it value. So if we give this opportunity, this gamefi idea value, and everybody agrees, like we really could like change some things here for a
absolutely.
lot of people. And like there's nothing stopping us but us, like human beings being human beings. Everybody's a knee jerk in the beginning until they have more information, and that's why it is definitely crucial to do your homework on it and use your discernment.
Right.
That's what I say all the time. Not everything is for you. So if
Mm-hmm.
it's not for you, that's okay. That's okay. It may be for somebody else. Maybe that's the route they want to take. And as far as NFTs, I made my first one of a photo I took of the New York City skyline some years ago, a couple years ago. Went on a road trip up the coast doing stuff and whatnot, and it's one of my favorite photos. Uh, and I turned that into an NFT because I just wanted to know how to do it. Because I was like, oh,
Yeah.
like if I
Amazing.
really want to start throwing that stuff on there and whatnot. All right, let me do my first one, and then we'll build the catalog from there. And it's just you got to try it.
Yeah.
That's why I got all these AKA and everything else at the end of my name, because of the fact that I'll try something at least once.
Mm-hmm.
You
Try
never
it.
like it.
Yeah, you never know unless you try.
And yeah, you never know unless you try. And looking through the audience, everyone is interested on this. Different people feel different ways. About the mainstream aspect of the community, where this is going, NFTs, blockchain, the technology. It is definitely an interesting thing to be a part of, and also to see where all of this goes in terms of the future. Like as we're seeing currently with like what's happening with like Ukraine and Russia, like the president of Ukraine has been like asking for the crypto community to send donations, and he's already got 4 million in Bitcoin, like already sent. Like people are already doing things, and more importantly too, like leaving the people having to leave these locations are, if you can't get access to your financial system, what are you gonna do? But luckily, with the ability of like blockchain technology and crypto, like you could put your money in there while you're in a place that is in a dangerous location where there's war going on, and you can bring that value to another location, which is like, these are all interesting things we're seeing unfold right in front of us, especially with the gaming community. Like, I think there is a lot to be said, a lot to be done, and I'm just so happy that we got to have this conversation, y'all. I am blessed that I got to have all three of you wonderful people on this panel. I'm so blessed that we got to have all these wonderful attendees in the audience, you know, showing love. And it's been just like it's been a true pleasure being able to do all this, have these conversations, and to hear each other's opinions. So lastly, you know, before we go, just wanna, if y'all be down to, you know, let the audience know where they can find you.
Find me at queennick.arts. Catch my stream, Queen Nick Arts, and my talk show will be March 19th, 9 p.m. every Tuesday up until I think like the second week of June, so right before Juneteenth. Go from the 29th all the way to Juneteenth, just about every Tuesday at 9 p.m. And have chats, talks. I'll be having some really good people on there as well to inform us and give us some value and things that may definitely benefit the community. So check that out.
Yeah, you guys can find me on Lex Millie on Instagram, streaming, Twitch. I'm on Twitter, but if you go to my Instagram, I have my entire link tree with all of my sources on there, and I stream Monday through Friday. So come check me out and my community and vibe, you know? So it's been a pleasure.
I can be found pretty much everywhere on social media at DJ Awesomeness Prime. Hopefully it's spelled somewhere because people have no idea how to spell Awesomeness. I didn't realize it was going to be difficult once I put it out there. It's what I did though. I'm on Twitch, twitch.tv/DJ Awesomeness Prime, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook. I'm on SoundCloud if you want. I haven't uploaded a lot of stuff on SoundCloud recently. But I guess the easiest way to find me would be you can just search for Awesomeness Prime on YouTube or Spotify. I will show up. My music label is Kawaii Kunai. You can find us at Kawaii Kunai Music on Instagram. Once you go there, click the link, you'll be able to find everything to all of our music and everything we're doing, see some of our artists, see what upcoming, projects are going to be a thing, what music I'm bringing you guys. We completely focus on music inspired by gaming and anime. So that is my world. That is what I'm building. And that's it. Let me entertain you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes,
Thank you so
seriously.
much.
Yes.
Oh, thank you for, willing to spend time, hang out, talk about these things. I am, once again, so blessed to have you, wonderful people, amazing people, you beams of light. We're talking about stars. Oh, yo, yo, dang, that's crazy. So I'm gonna have to switch over to my other character. Pounds
There
right
you go.
there. You can find me at that kid LVS. The transition seamless, but it was a pleasure having you all, and I can't wait to be able to do this again and share this experience with the community and keep growing and building. And I hope that everyone has a great night, a safe night, a stupendous night, and I'm happy that all of you are alive. Peace and love.